I have been selling this book, Zanazli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking, which is published by MPH for a while now. It's a really good book if you want to be a filmmaker, whether it's for YouTube, social media, TV, film, cinema, whatever. This is the book to get. I'm going to make it more accessible and more affordable to all of you because I believe that everybody needs to become a filmmaker. The more filmmakers we have in the world, I think this world will be a better place to live in. Now it's available as an electronic book download on my website. I'm going to link it here. It's really cheap, it's really affordable. It's only 5 ringgit if you want to get the ebook version. Okay, 5 ringgit. It doesn't really cost much, right? It's just a little bit of something for me. I mean, it did take a lot of work to write. Each chapter of this book talks about one part of the filmmaking process. And for each chapter as well, I interview a local filmmaker. It's only 5 ringgit. It's only 5 ringgit. You're watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club. I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm sure it was the one.
As usual, every week we watch a local film and we review it. And this week we're watching a local film and we're reviewing it. And the movie is called
SYURGA DALAM BOTol.
SYURGA DALAM BOTol. Isn't there a song? Okay, so we watch SYURGA DALAM BOTol.
Yes.
Directed by
Abby Cornelius.
Abby Cornelius, who also plays a starring role in the movie.
Yes.
And he's known for Academy Fantasia.
I guess so.
Ah.
Yes.
Academy Fantasia.
Okay, and then?
Yeah. I never liked Academy Fantasia. Mommy and Daddy were crazy about it though. Okay, tell us what the film's about.
The film is about, it starts off with basically kind of the backstory of how there were these people on the Filipino islands that were running away from
The fighting there.
the fighting, and then they end up in like
Southern Philippines, right?
in basically the Sabahan waters, and then how generations later the statelessness kind of affects them.
Yeah.
It's set in KK, mostly concentrated at the waterfront, the Filipino market waterfront, and also this kind of kampung laut, kampung air, really just
Pulau Gaya.
across, yeah, just across from the waterfront. You can see it.
I mean, you go to KK, right? You can see Pulau Gaya, right? You can see it.
See it lah, basically, is what I have to say. Yeah. So the story centers around Abdul, played by Abby Cornelius, who is now stateless because his mother, the Filipino, ran away from war and his father was killed, and how he's trying to find a way to statehood lah, and have some nationality. So, and when his mother ran away, he was basically born in the film. He was basically born in the waters of Sabah, but he was born like
across the water
on
the
a
border,
boat,
you know?
you know.
Yeah.
And then now he also has a son who is a young boy who is also stateless lah.
Although the mother is a Malaysian, but because he's not, so their marriage also wasn't legitimized.
Cara
kampung, kami kawin kampung.
And then it's all kind of tied together by this Filipino journalist who comes to do this story on the stateless community, the stateless community. Yeah, so what do we think of the film?
Can I go first?
Sure.
Okay. I know a lot of people are talking like real positive things about the film. I'm gonna be look like as the enemy when I say this.
I don't think so.
Look, I don't think the film was made really well. It had too many ideas and too many issues in it that there were just like too many threads to follow in one story. So I thought it was all over the place lah. That is all I'm going to say that is a little bit negative about the film. Because other than that, actually, I think this is a good film in another perspective because number one, there are not a lot of films that represent Sabah, right? There are not a lot. You can count on one hand the number of films that come out from Sabah. I mean, in the mainstream, right? And so having a film like this come out, and you know, the reception that it's been getting, it's pretty positive and pretty nice to see. You know, I like that. I like that there is representation. And like you always say, the more you do it, more representation. Doesn't matter good or bad, but it will slowly get there, right? As long as there's representation, it's already something positive. So I like that. I like that fact, you know, for that film. But actually, you know, when I said that there were just so many threats and so many issues that they were trying to deal with in the film that it just made it so like chaotic and make it a little bit more harder to focus right? I love those issues though that they bring up in the film. The film brings up these issues in a very non-judgmental way. Like, you know that Sabah has a lot of these statelessness issues. You have statelessness issues with the Bajau Laut who have been there for generations in Malaysian waters, right? Who are still stateless. And then this film kind of touches on that, but it also touches on Filipino refugees who escaped from the Philippines because of the fighting in southern Philippines last time, no more fighting already. And they came over to Sabah, and then they're stateless because of that, right? But he tells these stories without judging at all. Because if you see in the public sphere, right, in Sabah, in Malaysia, people are always like, oh, Filipino, not really Malaysian. So every time we talk about statelessness, there is a distinction, you know, whether they are really Malaysian, whether they really were born here, or did they just come from Philippines and all that. And that's judging. Whereas Abby Cornelius in his film, he doesn't judge at all. He's just looking at it from a very humanistic perspective. They're all humans.
Yeah.
And that brings me to a fact that if they're refugees, even more so, you want to recognize them. Because Malaysia has never been a signatory of the Human Rights Convention, right? The Refugee Convention.
Yeah.
We don't recognize refugees. So that is a problem. But we do recognize refugees from different places, and there's a bit of a double standard there.
Naturalized.
You know?
Yeah, okay.
But I don't want to take it away from the government, because the current government has been, not this current government, even the previous governments before this, they have been having this understanding with UNHCR, the United Nations Human Rights Commission for Refugees, right? Where if they are UNHCR registered, usually the government won't bother them. Although they're still not recognized and still can't get work and they still can't go to school and all that, right? And they can't get like healthcare and all that. But there is a little bit of goodwill there, right? But I'm wondering now, the refugees who came in from the Philippines a long time ago, these are legit refugees, right? Is there a process for them to get UNHCR registered? Now this is something that I don't know, right? So maybe if you guys can share some insights, do comment. But I do want to find out, you know?
Yeah, but the stateless issue, like you said, you mentioned also, is not just about descendants of these Filipino refugees, because like the Bajau Laut, for example, they're not refugees.
Yeah, they're generations.
They are indigenous communities of nomadic people. So when they were nomadic, they moved between the borders of the Philippines, Malaysia and Indonesia across generations, and then as evolution does, eventually they settled here.
Correct.
On the borders of Sabah. But this is the different side already. This is not the KK Pulau Gaya side. This is on across the board around
the south,
around
towards the south.
Around Sampurna side already. So they are a different kind of stateless.
Correct.
Because that stateless is actually, they're actually an indigenous community that's not being recognized.
Yeah.
Not being registered, not being recognized. But that's taking away from what this film is, because this film is about the descendants of the Filipinos.
Yeah, but the thing is, I like the fact that this film has a lot of these issues because it makes you think about all these Sabah issues, you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough films from Sabah, these issues are not going to be highlighted, you know. So I can understand the, you know,
and Sabah is so big also that
one film can't represent everything.
You can live on one side of Sabah and not know what's going on
because
the other side of Sabah.
Because it's huge. Sabah is like bigger than Semenanjung, you know, big as Semenanjung. So
okay, back to the film.
Yeah, one film can't represent everything, right? So I understand the predicament that Sabahan filmmakers feel when they feel that, okay, now I got a chance to make a film, I gotta put everything in it, right? I gotta put everything in it.
Because when will I get another chance to make a?
But that's an unfair pressure to put on Sabahan filmmakers. But it's great that he got a chance and opportunity to make this film. And yeah, I think the biggest thing about it is he made this film very non-judgmental, in a very non-judgmental way. There were actually a lot of like glimpses of like really nice characters, very nice dynamics between the characters, and the state and the authorities and the issues, and some good performances too by like the kids, you know. So you know, I'm glad that this film came out, but storytelling could have been better. I mean, the filmmaking techniques could have been better lah.
Yeah. Likewise, the film was messy only in that way, where it was trying to put in too many things in 2 hours or so. The issues and the themes of it are very important and very prevalent and were represented very well. These actors, you know, they're not they are just so natural in the way that they portray their characters. None of it really felt ingenuine lah. But I think also because it is something that they are familiar with. It's subjects that are close to them. So that was very it came through lah in the chemistry that also you mentioned. I think the main thing that really kind of spoke to me was the kind of desperation that shines through the film, you know, because actually the issues that they face, the stateless community face, are normal issues that we also, like, people with documents also face. Like, your father is sick, needs medicine, but it's amplified because when you're stateless, you cannot get a proper job. So when your father is sick and he needs medication, you can barely make enough to live. So then how do you then make money to also buy medication for your father? Which then leads to, you know, being more vulnerable to crime lah. And then there's this young boy in the film, right? He wants to go to school. And then there's this, like, in the film there's a juxtapose between him and the shopkeeper's daughter who is going to school, and they try to show you the kind of issues that that young kids should be thinking about. Like the girl, she's thinking about, oh, after exam I want to go hang out, where did you study this chapter, whatever. Whereas this boy needs to think about not getting caught by the police, you know. He needs to think about what to do for work that isn't illegal.
Tidak halal.
And then, like, how is he, the girl hands him a note, you know, in a bottle. She puts a note in a bottle and then gives it to him, and he cannot read. So he needs to go and find somebody to read the note for him. And, like, to me that was so impactful, because it's something as simple like you wouldn't even think about. You pass the note to your crush, right? Then your crush cannot read.
And so the crush is crushed.
And then this boy has to then go and hand over this fairly personal thing to someone else to read it for him.
But he was lucky that he got someone who was close to him lah to read it, right?
Yeah, but still,
I know,
it's these extra steps that you would not, that we take for granted lah, and we don't really, like, think about, which he showed in this film also. Like, this girl, the shopkeeper's daughter, is not thinking about, she's not worried about walking around in the market, worried about the police catching her or anything. She's just worried about her exams, you know.
Or how much money to bring back to contribute to the house.
She doesn't have these kind of concerns. And then, eventually she teaches him how to read, you know. She buys him books and teaches him how to read. So there's a lot in this film, but all of it is important. Could it have been a little bit tighter? Sure.
A lot tighter.
It really didn't need so much mood music. I think Abby was really
Mickey Mousing.
He was really trying to get the point across. So you can see that in the fact that in every single scene he's already put in the music to tell you how this scene is supposed to make you feel. Which really, because this film is about such a vibrant space, if you've been to the waterfront, if you've been to the Filipino market, you know, that entire area, it's a really vibrant space. There are cars it's always jam. At the side of the waterfront, there are people shouting at each other. There are this mishmash of languages because they speak all sorts of different dialects. The boats, we didn't get any of that sound because
Music.
there's music. So that kind of took away. It doesn't make me feel as connected to the situation as I should have because of the kind of cartoonization of the thing with all of this.
Mickey Mousing.
Yeah, with all of this music. So that was really unnecessary. But the messaging and the story is so important, and it's such an important story to tell. So yeah, I'm glad that Abby got a chance to tell this story. I'm glad that people have gone to watch this film, and more people should more people go watch this film?
Should everyone watch this film? Yes.
Yes.
I think
everybody should watch this film.
But the thing is, right, I love the issues, but he's chaotic because he wasn't so focused, right? I don't know how a mainstream audience can really see through to the real issues. You know, that's the only problem lah. We can see it because
yeah.
I mean,
the problem with films surrounding social issues is always that it's either you get it or you don't get it. So it's you yourself, when you go and watch this film, you need to be open enough to understand that this is a story that is real and it's happening, and there are people whose lives are exactly like this, and look beyond just entertainment value.
yeah. But a good filmmaker will find a way.
Correct.
So that the audience wouldn't have to make an effort to understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But depending on what kind of film it is lah. I mean, if it's supposed to be mainstream, then there should be not much effort on the part of the audience lah. You know.
But I think he did attempt lah.
He did, definitely.
That's why
no,
the
of course
Mickey
he
Mousing.
attempted. Of course he tried.
The Mickey Mousing.
You know, but like I said, the issues are all great.
Yeah. So
It's okay,
we
you
still
know.
stand by. Go and watch this
It's his
film.
first feature film, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so can only go better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm convinced Abby can only get better.
Yes.
Seeing that he already has this sense of putting these kind of stories, telling these stories.
And his narrative is not bad. The narrative is also good. It's just the
parts,
execution of it needs to be tighter.
You can see glimpses of
Yeah,
good narration.
just tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so watch this film.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, so like this video, don't like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on all our social media platforms at FAT BIDIN, or go to fatbidin.com to get everything you've been watching. Oh wait! I wanted to tell people to
The
log
use of
on.
the film.
No, yes, we have a film.
The use of a
We have a film. We have a film that we plan to release in the cinemas in January 2026. The film is done, right? And we have a campaign for this film now. The film's called Jom Kita ke Laut, right? Now we're having a campaign called Jom Kita ke Panggung. Now this film is about the Bajau Laut stateless community, right? And we feel that this film, I mean, I don't know. We spent 1 year making this film, right? And I'm very attached to this film lah.
Why? Who directed this film? Who directed this film?
More than any film that I've ever done. And we know that feature documentaries like this, we try to make it as entertaining as possible and as heartwarming as possible.
Because you're a good filmmaker.
No! I'm a critique. People are going to critique my film. But we know that these kind of films is not going to stand a chance in the box office when it goes against like Marvel movies and mainstream movies like Police Evo and you know, and all that, right? And Agent Ali, even though Agent Ali is really good, and Police Evo is really good too. We don't stand a chance. People are not going to go to the cinema and say, "Oh, Marvel movies, Spider-Man, Avengers, oh, Agent Ali," and then think, Jom Kita ke Laut, okay, and then splurge to go and watch Jom Kita ke Laut. So we are, from now until December, we are on a campaign to get to pre-sell tickets. So if you like the idea of this film, we are pitching to you to pay a certain amount to buy a certain
lock in your tickets, and pledge to watch it.
And pledge to watch it, one. And also, if there's any extra contribution from you, we will use that funds to bring other communities to come in to watch it. Maybe school students or university students,
and even the stateless
community, or any community that we think can benefit from the awareness of the issue lah, right? So yeah, and we are doing like several preview screenings for people who are interested as well. Right, we've done one preview screening which was quite a good turnout.
So if you think that you might be interested to contribute and you want to watch the film first,
let us know.
Let us know.
Log on to our website fatbidin.com and you can find Jom Kita Kelawat on it, or fatbidin.com/jkkl.
You can link it also, right?
Yeah, JKKL, and then you can see all the details there lah.
And
you can see
also link it, right?
Yes. I will link it. And yeah, you know. Yeah.
And then you can shit on our film.
You can shit on film. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of films shat on already, so you know. So it's a
because he
over
made
years.
it entertaining. He's a good
20
filmmaker.
20
come and
25 years.
hold him accountable to that.
Yes.
All right, so
Okay. So
yeah,
you've been watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club. I'm Simi, I'm Zan Azli.
and I'm sure it was on.